Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is April 9th, 2025. That is a lot of Torah friends. That is a community that has shown up together for a very, very long time. And what a privilege it is to be part of this community and to see all of you and to say good morning to Michael and Susie. Shush, it's good to see you. Leslie, welcome. Kate, nice to see you. Jennifer and Carl, Boker Tov. Rosa, it's good to see you. Rosa, we've got lots of prayers to spare, especially when it's not sparing them, it's directing them to you, our sister. So sending you all of the love and support that you need. I know that everyone will join me in sharing that. Carl and Linda, Jack, Lisa and Dale, Boker Tov. Jonathan and Sharon, Riva and Barry, it's good to see you. Neil, hi my friend, nice to see you. Jennifer and Peter sending love to Frankfurt. Rose and Deborah, Patricia, Boker Tov, Debbie, hi in Colorado. Avi Mayer, what an honor to have you here. Friends, Avi Mayer's on Instagram with us right now. What an incredible journalist and leader of our people. Thank you, my friend. It's good to see you. Diane and Deborah, sending love. Helen and Barbara, Julianne and Cecile, Joyce, Minna and Arlene, good morning. How many Hinenis on one screen? What an incredible thing it is to bear testimony to that. Natalia, Chana, you are in Jerusalem in the throes of Pesach cleaning. I gotcha. Dave, you are in Massachusetts sending love there. And Kim, I'm here too. It's good to see you. Corinne and Amy, welcome. Let's take a breath, everybody. Sing a bracha. Let's learn some Torah. Here we go. לעשות בדברי תורה, לעשות בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעשות בדברי תורה. תדיה לה 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 לה, תדיה לה לה לה. All right, everybody, good morning. Patricia, you have shared that today is your mother's 19th yahrzeit. May her memory be blessed. Today's Torah is in her memory and with support and love to you. Linda, you're sharing that your friend Wendy is in the hospital, sending her immense healing. May she have exactly what she needs. Friends, today is broadcast 1279. It is day 551 since October 7th. We have been present every day of these 5+ years, and especially in these last 551 days. I want to begin today with two acknowledgments of things that happened last night, and then move forward into a little bit of learning for Pesach today. Last night in Jerusalem, in Baka, there was a gathering that I think was convened by Jonathan Goldberg Polin, and certainly by his community in Baka at the Ephrata School, down the block from a place I lived my freshman year of college. And it was a place of prayer. It was a gathering of pluralism and heartbreak, remembering those we've lost, especially Jonathan's son Hirsch was in his heart and in ours. So too were all of the others, our sisters and brothers, our children, our grandparents, who we've lost, and it was an evening of prayer for the 59 remaining hostages, that they should come home soon. 24 of them, please God, to be embraced and begin the process of healing, and the remainder to be treated with dignity and buried with care and love. We have a long road ahead, my friends, and last night was a beautiful demonstration of our capacity to come together as community in the midst of it. And I hope that we all feel connected and rooted in our people's strength, in our people's heart. If we end the Seder by saying, L'Shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, last night was a demonstration of what that means. Jerusalem is a physical place. It is the heart of our people, and it pumps blood to the arteries. And anywhere in the Jewish world we feel our connectivity. And so that's one thing that happened last night. Last night as well, I was honored to stand in honor of my friend Joel Beckman, a beloved friend and teacher. He's one of the participants in a UJA study group that I'm blessed to be a part of. He was honored by WJCS, Westchester Jewish Community Services, which is the biggest social services network and provider in Westchester. UJA is proud to be an enormous support of WJCS, and Joel is just a shining example of a human being. It was my honor to be present and witness the overflowing hearts of a crowd of hundreds showing up for our trans children and parents because they are being othered in this moment of American history and around the world. We showed up for people with autism. We showed up for people with mental health struggles. We showed up for our LGBTQ friends. We showed up for racial justice. What I said last night is a way that I wanted to convene my own intentions this morning, because the name of the organization, I got a mug, thank God. Westchester is where we are. Jewish is why we are. Community services is what we are called to do. And so I wanted to bless us with a recognition, friends, that we are part of a grand tradition, which is based, of course, in the story that we tell at Seder. Because for 210 years of our 400 years in Egypt, we were othered. Our identity and existence was not just taken for granted, it was erased. We as a people were abused, enslaved. We are told in the Torah itself, in the immediate aftermath of that terrible thing, our own history, in the immediate aftermath, it could have been close your heart to everyone else and just take care of yourselves, and that's all you need to do. That's what you owe your ancestors. Instead, what does the Torah say? The Torah says, never oppress a stranger, ki gerim heyitem. Because you were strangers in a strange land, never let anyone be othered. We, in these last 551 days, have had to realize that we have to devote even more intention and energy to our own community, but it is also urgent, essential, and more necessary than ever for us to be as strong as we can be so that our values can live in the world beyond the boundaries of any community. We've always known that. Last night was an intense reminder that in order for us to fulfill our mandate, we must be here. But to be here as a Jewish community is to be for also. And I was moved last night to honor Joel and Jillian, who was also honored last night, the professionals, the mental health workers, the social workers, the fundraisers, the community volunteers. We do good in the world. And what a privilege that is. What an enormous privilege that is. To see the humanity in every human. That's the greatest mission anyone could ever ask for. And so I was present last night as witness. And I was left in certain moments speechless, which made me think, friends, of a part of the Haggadah that I love so much. And this is the little bit of Pesach Torah that I'd like to teach today. The power of the Haggadah is it gives us paradigms for our own identity and thinking. It's not a book of answers. It's a book of provocative prompts for questions. I grew up with this image. You might recognize it in my Haggadah. my childhood Haggadah was called a Feast of Freedom, and it was a Haggadah created by the Rabbinical Assembly in solidarity with the movement to free Soviet Jewry. Because at the time, the Soviet Union wasn't letting Jewish uh, people emigrate. They weren't allowing them to be Jewish nor to leave. And it was a major movement for which my father was arrested in protest, and we marched many times. Many of those former residents of the former Soviet Union relocated to the United States and to Israel, and that work goes on. That image, I'll show it again, is of the four children. And I've always been struck by it. If you look at it closely, the colors are interchanged. And the image is called the four children within each of us. Because, I'll read just the part from the Haggadah. Keneged arba'a banim dibra Torah. Corresponding to four children, the Torah did speak. One who is wise, the Chacham. One who is wicked, the Rasha. One who is tam, simple. And one she'ino yoder lishol, who doesn't know how to ask. And what an incredible thing it is for the Torah to give us an image of four children, it says the Torah spoke about. But actually, if you know your Torah, there's no mention of four children in the Torah. The rabbis are reading from the verses that tell us about the children who will one day ask about how we are who we are. Where did we come from? We are told that we will tell our child, we were strangers in a strange land. God heard our cry and took us out with a strong arm, an outstretched hand. And what a thing it is, friends, for us to know that the Torah says you will have children. What a promise. What a beautiful promise that there will be a future. And in that future, young people will say, who are you? Who am I? How did we get here? Some of them will be chacham, or will think of themselves as wise. They'll know their stuff, but still have questions, because that's wisdom. Some of them will be risha'im. Now, this is a complicated one. I always was taught as a child that the word rasha means wicked. But what kind of a child who is truly wicked says, what is this to you? Because the tone is not captured by the words. Yes, in our day and age in the Jewish community, there are those who will, with whatever knowledge they have, weaponize tradition at their own people. But that's a very small group. This question is not from a place of wickedness. In fact, even if it's asked with attitude, it's still an opportunity for engagement. And so when the Rasha, who the Haggadah wants me to think is wicked, says, what is this to you? Our opportunity is not to do what the Haggadah says, which is to wrap them in the teeth and say they wouldn't have been saved. Your attitude puts you far beyond family. Never. We have to say back to the Haggadah, never. There are opinions that are inauthentic in the Jewish community, but our children are always our children. And so when someone says to me, Jewish or not, what does this mean to you? It's my opportunity to say, you want to know what this means to me? It means I've learned how fragile life is and how fickle Jewish history has been and how reliance on the other for my own safety is never a safe bet. But when I'm in a position of privilege, I'm called to offer it and extend it to someone else as a safe harbor. I've learned what it is to be attacked and erased, to be told I have no history. Everyone has a history. And I am a witness to my own emergence, and I wish more than anything to be a witness to someone else's. So we have the Chacham and we have the Rasha. There's also a Tam. The Tam, the simple one, just says Mazot. What's this? What a good question. I don't think the Tam gets enough credit. The simple one gets enough credit. Just come on. Tell me. What is this? Maybe we are reduced to a place where that's all we can say. What is this? But if you are able to say that question in the presence of another, What a gift that is. Just to ask a simple question. What is this? To be in a place where we can say that. To be with others to whom we can say it. That's no simple thing. And that final child, the final archetype of a human being, which is sometimes each of us, as the image shares. Remember, the 4 children in each of us. That last one in Hebrew is the She'eno Yodeh Lishol, the one who doesn't know how to ask. And I remember the images in childhood of that child. It's always a baby. A baby is someone who doesn't know how to ask. But I have to say, that's not the limit of the meaning of the one who doesn't know how to ask. She'eno Yodeh Lishol, She'eno Yodat Lishol. I want to read to you something that I just read. Sharon Weiss Greenberg is the manager of resource development at ANU, the Museum of the Jewish People in Tel Aviv, and she has a piece she just wrote on the Times of Israel called "This Grown Adult Doesn't Know How to Ask." And she talks about the other children, and she says, this year I can't stop thinking about the She'eno Yodeh Lishol, the one who doesn't know how to ask. She said, I spend much of my days asking questions, probing, nuanced ones, difficult ones, and so what questions. I've had many field days doing this throughout my educational career and beyond. We also generally have a Jewish tradition of asking questions and yearning to learn and know more. But this year, she says, I found myself unable to ask anything at all. Maybe it started on October 7th or the long 551 days since, or maybe it was learning about what happened and is happening to hostages ripped from their homes and loved ones. The images that burned into our collective memory, the waiting, the unbearable silence. There are questions I cannot ask, ones that catch in my throat and paralyze my mind. The unknown is terrifying, excruciating, and God help me, awful. And sometimes I wonder, is knowing worse? The She'eno Yodeh Lishol isn't dumb, she says. They're not naive. They are overwhelmed, silenced, grieving. Sometimes they are afraid that asking will destroy them, and maybe this year, so many of us are this child. Maybe this child's lesson is not about encouraging them to ask, but simply about showing up for them, sitting beside them, holding space for silence and holding their hand until they are ready to ask, or simply ready to be asked. And in that spirit, friends, I'd like us to consider which of the 4 children we feel most present in us right now. And perhaps it's all of them. It's all of them in a jumble, because we are wise and we are beautiful. The work we do in the world is based on self-awareness, strategy, courage, collective potential. There are times where we are also Risha'im, all of us, where we point to the other within our community and we say, what are you anyway? It sounds dismissive, but as any good therapist will tell you, when you push against someone, that is a demonstration of love. We are also sometimes just simple. What is this? I don't know. This is new. I don't know. And this year, friends, so many of us also are she'enenu yodim. We just don't know ech lishol, how to ask. Sharon Weiss Greenberg's piece on the Times of Israel is a profound gift for all of its complexity. Last night I sat overwhelmed at the Westchester Jewish Community Services Gala, and I saw what it is to not let the world's complexity overwhelm to the point of paralysis. We show up in community, even when we have to defend our own. How wise. And I was overwhelmed to the point where I looked around. My wife was holding my hand and I was just crying, watching a commitment to humanity, overwhelming generosity, love. And I didn't know what to ask. I didn't. And that's okay too sometimes. As Sharon writes, thank you, Rosa, for sharing the link. As Sharon writes, it's not It's not a lack of complexity and maturity that leads someone to be a She'no Yodeh Lishol. It's not a baby, though that's the image sometimes associated with it. It's being overwhelmed. Joel said to me last night, just before we went up to the stage together, just how overwhelming the world can be right now. I stood with someone I really look up to, prepared to speak about him, to him, in front of him. And he said, the world is just so overwhelming right now. And before we went up, we saw testimonies from people who have received services from WJCS and also those who have shown up to support. And I looked at him and I said, this is another kind of overwhelming because there is beauty too. Last night in Jerusalem, the gathering on behalf of the 59 remaining hostages, the grief for those we've lost, the grief for those we worry about so intensely on this 551st day of their captivity. What an incredible thing it is to also see the beauty of a community in Jerusalem of proud, independent, self-determining, prayerful Jews praying for our family. We shouldn't need to pray the way that we need to right now. But oh, how we pray. Oh, how we show up. We are wise, and we are rebellious, and sometimes we're simple, and recently, at least for me, we're overwhelmed. But what a gift it is to be together. What a gift it is to work towards a world where we can say with confidence, maybe we should just not wait for that world. Let's say with confidence, Lishana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim. There will be a future. And what Jerusalem represents physically and metaphysically, Amen. May it be true for us, for Am Yisrael, and for the whole world, one step at a time toward freedom. Send your hearts with me, friends. Let's sing. Kol hod balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends. Take care.